Hello, and welcome to this review of the Rogues in Texas historical romance book series by Lorraine Heath. I'm Olivia, your favorite resource for book recommendations you can easily screenshot, and you're watching Random Olive Reads. First up is A Rogue in Texas, which is book one of the series. A group of English gentlemen are sent to the cotton fields of Texas to work the land. The women of the fields accept the men to work, as their own husbands had gone away to the Civil War and not returned. Grayson is the illegitimate son of a duke and has never worked hard for anything in his life, despite being often overlooked and unloved. Upon the criticism of one of the widows, Abby, he's determined to prove that he can stick it out and work the fields as needed. Abby is the widowed mother of three who puts up Grayson in her barn and is wary of men due to her cold and demanding husband. She is skittish around Grayson's teasing and flirting, but finds him to be kind to her children and hardworking in the fields. Over time, these two grow closer together, but there are still hardships to overcome in the rough conditions of the land, and a plot twist coming up that I kind of didn't see coming, but I did see coming. So, of course, lots of drama. Book two is Never Love a Cowboy. This book takes place right after the events of the previous one, with Harry and his friend Kit working with the saloon owner's daughter, Jessie, on their new cattle herding venture. These two guys are like, yeah, I'm not picking cotton ever again. There's way more money in cattle. So Harry has been flirting with Jessie outrageously, but she always rejects him, knowing that he's a scoundrel and she's not willing to risk her heart or any sort of future heartbreak. While on the trail together, they get to know each other more and unload some of their complicated secrets, but love is still very much out of reach for various reasons, despite their attraction for each other. There is all sorts of disaster and danger that happens throughout this book, with all the dangers of being on a cattle trail, along with learning all of Jesse's secrets, keeping the pace moving, and the reader wanting to know more. I really enjoyed this book and also getting to know a lot more about our friend Kit, who gets his own book next. So, the last book of the series is Never Marry a Cowboy, and we start with a tragic prologue here, which explains how Kit was in love with his twin brother's wife, who passes away from cancer. We jump back into the town of Fortune, Texas, and it's maybe like a 4-year time jump since the previous book. And Kit has been living there as the elected town marshal. Harry and Jesse have their own home and business in town that we learn about in the previous book. So, an old friend comes to visit and asks Kit to grant his sister the dying wish of being a bride. Despite refusing at first, Kit spends up spending a day with Ashton and decides to bring her some joy with a wedding. Like, it doesn't hurt him. Why not give her something to smile about? Now, while their relationship starts as a temporary bargain, the more time Kit spends with Ashton, the more he wants to provide for her and give her experiences to enjoy and remember. Of course, both people are terribly afraid of risking their hearts. He's afraid of falling in love with her because she's dying, and she's afraid of falling in love with him because he is supposedly in love with his brother's dead wife. We also get to see Kit's brother come to town, bearing secrets to be revealed, and then developing a quick romance with one of the widows in town. So we have a nice little secondary romance happening in this story. So this series makes the most sense when you read it in order because we get to know these three friends and scoundrels and how they all tie together. The books are plot heavy with lots of twists and turns, but also huge swells of emotions, not only between the two romantic main characters, but also with their families and loved ones. We get to see Grayson step into a fatherly role with Abby's children. We have Jesse's history and secrets. We have Kit and his relationship with his brother, and Ashton and her relationship with her brother. There's a whole bunch of like other ties to look at and interesting to see how those things develop. This was a super enjoyable read. This is easily overlooked if you usually read Regency or Victorian England. A lot of times I will see people say they love to read Lorraine Heath, but they start with her series that take place in England and they kind of overlook the series that take place in Texas. But don't skip these. These are really enjoyable. I am looking forward to the next series right after this in Lorraine Heath's backlist, which deals with the next generation in the same town of Fortune, Texas. Thank you so much for watching this video. Links to all of these books are in the description box. Like and subscribe so you don't miss future videos, and you can follow me on Instagram at randomolive.